I was upside down, that was it? Okay.
Probably how many times?
However we want to do it, that's okay. All right, we're gonna get the business now because John's gonna wants us to go. So, Amy is here to GTL, kind of go over some hospital and ancillary benefits. That can go along with your Medicare plans for this year. So I'll let her kind of take it over and take it away.
Yeah, that
Thanks,
works.
sis.
Good morning / afternoon, 12:03, so I guess we're afternoon. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the Advantage Plus Elite today. That is our hospital indemnity plan. And then John and I were talking, I'm gonna touch on our cancer plan at the end. It's not a lot of slides, but it's a very, very powerful product and very unique in the cancer marketplace. So we're gonna jump right into GTL. What do you guys need? You guys need a solid insurance carrier, right? You need to be able to reach out and get your answered, okay? You guys need the proper videos and brochures and things to give to your clients. You need your claims paid, right? So we do all of that, and we do it very, very, very well. We also have a great e-application. So, but right now, we have a bonus program. So this kicked off just October 1st, and it runs until the end of the year. So it goes through AEP. So this is gonna be a great way as you guys sell the hospital indemnity plan with your MA plans to continue to be paid through that. But then come at the very end of February, once we take all the tally of the applications, you get paid. So if you submit 5 to 10, you get $50 an hour. If you submit 11 to 25, goes back to app number 1, you get 75 an hour. And then if you submit 26 or more than, that's less than one a day, you get $100 an hour. So it'll be an easy way to get some extra money at the end of, about middle of the first quarter of next year. So I wanna make sure everybody's aware that that's going on. Okay, let's talk about Advantage Plus Elite. So how many of you are new? Okay, we have a great tool for you. We have a tool that's called Fill in the Gaps. Now, you can download the e-app just right on your phone and take it from there. It will not have fill in the gaps on the e-app. And the reason why is because it's just too robust. The e-app can't handle it. But that doesn't mean that you cannot access this from an iPad or your phone. You just need to go to the agent portal, which is www.gtlic.com. Then you will sign in and you will get fill in the gap. So let me tell you what this does for you. And even if you aren't new, this just kind of makes it seamless, right? So you put in the year of the Medicare Advantage plan that your client has. You put in the zip code. It's gonna sit there, it's gonna think, and then it's gonna say select a carrier. So then you select a carrier from the drop down. It's gonna be all carriers that are approved in that area and that zip code. And then once you get that carrier, you go over and you select the actual plan. And then it mirrors everything up for you. Takes all the thought out of it. Well, it doesn't take all the thought out of it because it gives you like the Cadillac of Cadillacs, like this huge one that's like $200. But you can always pull that back. But the main thing what it does is it matches up the amount of days that they are out of pocket, matches up the amount of dollars that they are out of pocket. And if you guys are not adding the ambulance rider, you're doing your clients a disservice because even in this example, it's $350. It's gonna match it up with $350 and it's gonna cost less than $5 a month. Very inexpensive. Always, always please add the ambulance rider. In fact, I think it should be included in the base product, but it's not. And who am I? So I'm gonna step back so I can see this even though I have it memorized. So you guys can't see this at all, but just know that it has filled out everything. Okay, it has like $10,000 cancer, and it has a lump sum hospital benefit, it has critical writer. But in the green, those are the prices. So you can just either drop down and bring it to 0, or pick a box and click on it and it'll go away. And it will drop that premium down by that dollar amount in green. And then that way you can make it work for your client. Very easy, very simple. I know you guys are masters of all the MA plans, but sometimes if you're new or if you're not working in an area that you normally work, you may not know everything, and this just does it for you perfectly. So, utilize fill in the gaps. You can do it from your phone, you just have to be on the agent portal, not the agent, not the e-app. Why did I stop clicking? Oh no, saving so.
I got more batteries or a clip review.
Oh, I may. Maybe if I shoot it over here, has it seen it? Oh, well, hell's bells.
It's working too well.
Yeah, now that we got the whatchamacallit. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Did the
Is it frozen?
There we go. Yep, it was frozen. I don't know how that happens. Okay, so let's talk about the base product, guys. What makes Advantage Plus elite? Okay, first and foremost, our benefits kick in after 6 hours. That's important. They don't need to be admitted. They don't need to have a 24 overnight stay. After 6 hours, day one benefits kick in. And when I say day one benefits, I'm saying day one of that benefit period. So if they have a 5-day benefit period, day one. Number 2, you can choose between 100 and it was $750 and now it's $990 a day. So we increase the max daily amount. And why I like to talk about this, because a lot of people will be like, oh, we'll never go to $990. But if you're selling someone that's outside of a Medicare Advantage plan, and maybe they have like normal insurance, like I might have, I say normal, that's not right, that's not fair. Just corporate insurance or through an employer, I mean, everybody's normal. Or they have a med sup or something like that. You could do a 3-day benefit, max it out for $990, and then they could utilize that for any out-of-pocket costs, medications, different stuff like that. So keep in mind, I say this because the hospital indemnity plan is just that, an indemnity plan. It is a contract between GTL and the client. It does not matter what else they have. They could have med sup, med advantage, employer, nothing, whatever it is. This is a contract between us and them. So we don't coordinate benefits. We don't go and say, oh, well, your MA only says you're out $300, but you can afford $900 and you bought that and that's enough. No, none of that. This is a contract between GTL and the client. So, benefit period, you can choose between 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 15 days. We always cover observation at 100% with no limit. We know that that client's gonna go in and be like, oh my goodness, I think I'm having a heart attack, and they sit and they get observed for 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 hours, and then they come back and they're like, hey, you really have a really bad heartburn, you need to fix your diet, right? They're still getting a bill for being observed. Absolutely they are. So we're just gonna say, hey, whether it's coded observation or coded inpatient, you still have it. As long as they were being observed for a minimum of 6 hours, they get day one benefits kicking in. And all benefits fully restore after 60 days. And this is important because it's like the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going and going, and it pays and it pays and it pays, and it's awesome. So, as long as the client continues to pay their premium, this continues to fully restore after 60 days of no hospital confinement. Another thing we want to point out is the emergency room benefit. This is included in the base policy, but guys, we know, I know I would rather go to an urgent care over an emergency room. I know when my kids get sick, I'd rather take them. Granted, it's not a kid's coverage, but my point is urgent cares more people would want to go to, I think, than the emergency room, unless they have to go to the emergency room. And then they go to the emergency room, right? So we don't discern. We don't say, oh, urgent care only gets this benefit and emergency room gets this benefit. So we're gonna pay $150 whether they visit the emergency room or they visit urgent care for an injury due to an accident. They don't have to be inpatient, admitted as an inpatient if they go to the emergency room. This one pays in addition to the base benefit of day one. So if they are in that emergency room, let's say for 7 hours, we're gonna give them the $150, and because they've been in there over 6, we're gonna give them day one. So it's almost double digits, but they get both of those paid out. Okay? They're separate pieces of the base benefit, product itself, but they both pay out. There's a mental health, and every 60 days, restores. Every 60 days that they are left in emergency room or an urgent care, then this benefit restores. Okay, so that works out. I'm not the greatest mather, but it's about 6 days a year. Mental health benefit, this is separate on its own, but if the client is confined for a mental health condition, we'll pay $175 up to 7 days. That is the base benefit. That is the product. Now let's talk about the underwriting. So we have a guaranteed issue that's 64 and a half to age 70. They cannot be 70. So they can be 69, 11 months, 20 to 30 days, depending on the month that they're in, right? We have a 90-day look back on previous confinement for hospitalization, nursing home, or home health services. So if they are outside of the guaranteed issue, we're gonna say, hey, in the past 90 days, have you had home health services? Have you been confined to a nursing home? Or have you been in the hospital? And then the next three are they're only a 12-month look back. So it's only a 12-month look back. And then the last one is a forever, do you have AIDS, HIV, or ARC? That's the product. Or excuse me, that's the application. So if you do have a guaranteed issue, those won't pop up at all. And if it's above guaranteed issue, just know that you have a 90-day look back and then 12 months. So issue ages are 40 to 85. As I said, guaranteed issue is 64 and a half to age 70. If they want to add riders, that includes all the riders except, excuse me, cancer. They do have to qualify for the cancer rider. It is not included in the guaranteed issue, unfortunately. Your mounts, we move by $10. So if they have a $225 out of pocket, you would make it $230. But it's $100 to $990 a day. And then no application fee, and the benefits are paid directly to the policyholder. So, do you guys know Bob Mueller? Yeah. Okay, so I was just in Bob's and I said, oh, I was in his office and he brought up a good point. And I like to, pull from everywhere. But I was like, tell your clients that we paid them directly, let them go home, recover. It's 18 months to file a claim, so they can then file the claim. After they feel better, we'll pay it, so forth and so on. And Bob kindly said, I want to interject here, Amy. He's like, in certain circumstances, and depending where they are, I have them bring the card and tell them to do the card, because guess what? The hospital and those other places are now going to have to be the ones to call all the time, to file the claim, to do all of that, and it takes it outside of the client's hands. Because sometimes that UBO4 is a pain in the ass to get, right? But that is what we need, because it tells us everything, the codes, the days, all of that stuff. The other thing he pointed out is if the client does a little extra, and says, I want $500 and not $330, and they can afford it, we pay the hospital, and then we also pay the leftover to the client.
They don't have to go to the hospital to get the overage?
No, we cut the check straight to the hospital for what they are billing, and we take a look and then pay the overage to the client. You can thank Bob Mueller for that, because I did not know that.
Yeah, I've been changing it around the same way, having it sent to the hospital. Have the hospital do all the big work.
Yeah,
You're saying that the client should show their GTL card to the hospital.
Correct.
Okay, this is what we're doing, that's what I'm just asking, but, and then they pay the claim.
then the hospital's gonna say, hey, GTL, we want our money. And we're gonna be like, yeah, that's fine, give us that UBO4. And instead of being like, oh, we only do that every 3 days, they say, okay, here's the form, because we want our money. And then we pay the client, we pay it directly to the client, never gets the bill.
I bet you GTL gets that form very
And
quickly.
if there's any overages, it goes to the client.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if the client did it out of pocket of like the $300 for 5 days, but they're like, you know what, I really like this, or they add the lump sum on or something, or they just do it higher. Let's say there's an additional $100 that they decide that they can afford and want. So we pay the hospital what their bill is, and then any overage is sent to the client. Yeah, so you can thank Bob Mueller for that one, because I did not know it. Do you have a question? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excited to be here.
I'm excited that you're here. You just came in earlier and said you're having a rough morning, so glad to see a smile. He didn't say that to me, I was
Phone issues, but
eavesdropping.
yeah.
I was sitting on the couch, nobody saw me I'm black on black on black. Okay, so remember when we talked about the plan restoration? This is how it gets really powerful. If a client has a 6-day benefit period, okay, and we're gonna mirror this up with a Med Advantage. They have a 6-day benefit period that they are required to come out of pocket for. They go into the hospital and they're there 3 days. Then they leave. And they never go back again for the next 60 days. They have a full 6-day benefit period for the next time that they go in. If they go in and then they have to go back in before the 60 days has expired, they still have 3 more days, right? So we're gonna continue to pay the 3 days and then their Medicare Advantage is gonna kick in. Because we created this product to mirror this, right? Then after that second visit, once they leave, 60 days later, they have a full 6-day benefit period again. And it goes on and on and on. Every 60 days it's fully restored. These are real people. There's this one right here, March 2009. Sorry little guy or girl, but we've paid over $90,000. That is old data too. I asked for updated data since 2021. Through a hospital and that's where you see the power of restoration. Okay, let's talk about pre-existing conditions. Need to talk to your clients about it? We have it with all our products. It's not that scary and it's not that bad. Pre-existing condition just says in the very 6 months preceding the effective date, have you been advised, told, treated, any of that about a medical condition? They could still qualify, whether it's guaranteed issue or even through the health questions, they can still qualify for the product, but there still could be a pre-existing condition. All it says after that is that if there is a pre-existing condition and you still qualify, then we aren't gonna cover that for the immediately next 6 months. So once they get month 7, it's all 100% covered, okay? If they go to the hospital and it has nothing to do with that pre-X, it's covered day 1. So if somebody had, I don't know, let's say they're guaranteed issue and they have cancer and they get the hospital indemnity plan, okay? If they have to go in because of cancer in the first 6 months, it's not gonna be covered. They have to go in the hospital for a stay. But once month 7 hits, forever that they keep it, it's covered. Do you guys get snow here?
Rarely.
Okay, well I can't use my slip and fall on the ice. So they're walking and they slip and fall in a puddle, right? And they break their hip. That has nothing to do with cancer. I mean, we're not gonna get down that rabbit hole and be like, well, their bones are brittle, blah, 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 blah. No, they fell, they slipped in water, and they broke their hip. They're in the hospital, it's covered immediately. The clients know it. You know, it's like if you have something that you have, it's just know it. It's not a big conversation. Just disclose it and move right on. So let's talk about writers. Does anybody have any questions on the base policy? That means I'm doing a good job, or the complete opposite. Okay, ambulance service writer. I said this, it is so inexpensive. Please add it to every single one. Your ambulance out-of-pockets are gonna be anywhere from $200 to $400, right? You know these plans. This costs less than $5 a month. Like, so, they can choose anywhere from $50 to $400. It's payable 4 times a year. Lifetime is 12 trips, right? They don't have to be confined to a nursing home, or yeah, they don't have to be confined. They don't have to be admitted. They don't have to have any of that. An air ambulance covered. So when I say 12 trips are up to $4,800, that is simply 400 times 12. Okay? Somebody asked me the other day, does it have to be a different issue? So we just need 24 hours in between. So if they take me to the hospital and they're like, Amy, here you are, you need to go in, we're gonna put you in an ambulance. I'm like, okay, and they look at me and they observe me and they do my test and they're like, whoa, you know, St. Amy's hospital up over here is really what you need, where you need to be. So in the next day, 24 hours, next morning, they put me in a little ambulance and they shuffle me on up to St. Amy's. Well, those are both covered. So it'll cover multiple trips for the same incident. Someone asked me that, so I go. So this is new, and it's not in every state, but it is in South Carolina. So we just added it, and what this is it is the guaranteed purchase option, which means your client can increase their coverage without any underwriting 5 times up to age 85. So it's 10%, so it's almost, they can increase it almost, or up to 50% of the benefit. So a couple takeaways on this. Number one, the base product issues up to age 85. This rider only issues up to age 79, okay? So they have to be 79 or younger to purchase this rider. They have until 85 to increase it by 10%, 5 times, so once a year. And here's the beauty of it, no underwriting, nothing like that. They get it, they can keep increasing it. If they go to a doctor, wellness, once a year, we pay them $100. So really, this rider comes out to be like $9 a month if they go to the doctor. But that's good. We want them going to the doctor once a year just to know that they're healthy and good. We'll pay them $100. Offset the cost of this rider, of this guaranteed insurability. So, brand new. These are the states they're in. If you work in North Carolina, you can see it's not there. But it is in South Carolina. Questions on this? Yes?
How do they file a claim with that, with the doc,
Wellness?
for the wellness thing?
The wellness, yes, it's just, they just fill it out and then they send it into us and then we send them the check.
For the physical examination?
Yes, just for the doctor's visit. Skilled nursing facility rider. We increased the amount on this one, so this is new. It was $220, now it's $300 a day for the skilled facility. They can choose between day 1 through 50 or 21 through 100. Depending on what they're out of pocket, there's a couple things to go with it. Number one, that the skilled nursing facility visit needs to begin within 30 days of a hospitalization lasting 3 days. Observation is included in those 3 days. And this one fully restores after 60 days. So if you have your client that's alone, hurts themselves, and it has to go to a facility till they get better, and then they come home, then 60 days after they come home, this is back in play. Occupational therapy rider, PT, OT, speech therapy, $50 a day. They can choose between 15-day benefit or 30-day benefit. It's only $50 a day. So if they have a stroke and they need PT and speech therapy, go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. But it's $50 a day. To max it out, they probably only have one of those therapies each day. Chiropractic, it is $50. Also separately, it's up to 5 calendar days and it's for an injury. So if someone slipped and fell and whatever years ago, or it doesn't matter, they have an injury and they're going to see. It is not like me that slept in a bed in a hotel room and I woke up and my neck was like, oh, I just want to go to my own bed. That's not what it's for. Okay, outpatient surgery rider, you can choose. This is pretty simple, straightforward. The main thing is they have to be cut. It's a surgical rider. So we have to have some incisions going on. Not for MRI, CT scans, or anything like that. Lump sum hospital rider. This is for the client that wants a little oomph on day 1. Okay? So, they have their base benefit. Let's say they're going to get $300 once they're sitting in that hospital for 6 hours. And they added a lump sum hospital rider for $500. So once they hit the 6-hour mark, we are going to give them day 1 benefits of $300, and then this guy kicks in, and we give them $500. So day 1, they're going to get $800, and then the rest of their benefit period, they'll get the remaining $300 as long as they're in the hospital. This also restores just like the base benefit. So it's not a one and done. Keeps going along with the base benefit. Critical accident rider, it's very straightforward. 10,000, 5,000, ultimate payout is death, accidental death, and then it is very specific upon the fractures and everything else that we will pay out.
I have a question about the outpatient surgery.
Yes.
So they need to be cut.
Yeah, Yeah, like if they go this way, it's not gonna do it. They have to be like, whoosh. Okay, cancer rate. I like our cancer writer. I like our standalone cancer product 10 times better. But I do like our cancer writer, and I want to point it out and tell you why. Because it's more than just you're paying for a $10,000 cancer benefit. Boom, there you go. Good luck to you. So we go up to 20,000. So you can do anywhere from 2,500 up to 20,000. We do issue up to the top issue age of the product. So it issues up to 85. But we also add a couple things. We add cancer in situ. What cancer in situ is so the main part of it is invasive, life-threatening. It's stage, right? I actually just found out one of the dads at my kid's school had stage 4 colon cancer. It's sick. But that's invasive. That's a stage cancer. So in situ is not invasive. It is still on the original site. It hasn't metastasized to any other organs or anything like that. I even did some research and I was told that it was also classified as like precancerous. Like, oh, you have precancerous, we're gonna cut you. But it's 25% of the lump sum. So if a client is diagnosed, they go in and they have, non-invasive, they get 25% of the lump sum that they chose. If they have skin cancer, ooh, I went fast. If they have skin cancer, they get $500 3 times over the life of the policy. So if you look at it and say, okay, you say there's $1,500 for skin cancer, they get cancer in situ and they have 10,000, there's $2,500 more. I'm not keeping this. And then later on they get life-threatening cancer and they get $10,000. So it's more than just your single amount done.
Can you talk more about this? Like, what about prostate cancer? What would that be considered? If it's not life-threatening, and they just remove part of it and no chemo, no radiation, like what would that be?
That would probably be cancer in situ. It's all on how the oncologist codes it. And
So that's a big difference compared to other cancer policies. It'd be like any internal cancer, bang, lump sum paid. This is not that.
well, if they say if it's classified as invasive or life-threatening, he could have stage 1 prostate cancer and still cut part of it out. That's stage 1. That's a stage life-threatening cancer. Yeah, it's a stage life-threatening cancer.
So what about, I've come across about at least 3-4 times in the last few months, guys have been diagnosed with prostate cancer and they say, listen, it's so slow growing, we're not gonna do anything, you'll probably die before it does anything. But they've been diagnosed with cancer. What happens then?
They're diagnosed. So depending on, same as what he asked, depending on where it is, you want cancer in situ all day long before you'd ever want a life-threatening stage cancer. Absolutely. So if they're like, hey, I get diagnosed with cancer in situ, it's still here, wherever it is, it's here. Here's my 25% of my lump sum. Absolutely. I mean, I want cancer in situ over life-threatening cancer, even though my payout might be bigger. Okay, so if we look at a lifetime exam, I did add it up. So the 10,000 with the cancer in situ and the skin cancers, so a $10,000 cancer policy or rider now becomes a $14,000 if they maximize the benefit. If they did a $20,000, it now becomes $26,500. Now, if we are talking about cancer, we need to talk about the reoccurrence benefit rider, because cancer can come back. Cancer can also not be the same cancer and come back. True story, one of my good friend's dads last year, he went through cancer, he went through treatment, he rang the bell, he was good. He golfed and went to the Royals games and went down to the lake and did all this stuff. 7 months later, he had a seizure, went in the hospital, and his body was riddled with cancer. He rang the bell, and he died like within 15 days, I think 20 days. But this is my point. If they're concerned about cancer, this does not cost a ton. So what it does, it's just like restoration. It says, but it's not 60 days. So it says, policyholder has a $10,000 lump sum, and they added the reoccurrence rider. They're diagnosed, they get a check. They go through treatment, they go into remission. That's great. After 5 years, if they get cancer again, it doesn't matter if it's the same one or a different one, they have another full $10,000. If it's in years 1, 2, 3, or 4, you can see it's a 10, 25, or 50% of that. And this is it. For a 75-year-old male on a $10,000 policy, it's less than $5 a month. So if they're concerned about the cancer, if they're gonna pay for the cancer rider, you really should look into them and talk to them about the reoccurrence.
Can you go back for a second? On the one that you were showing for the $500 for skin cancer, what if their benefit is the lowest of all? What if they go with a $2,500 lump sum cancer? Is that $500 for skin cancer still apply?
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's part of it.
I didn't know if you had to do a minimum.
Nope. No, good question, no. No, they could do a $2,500, just doesn't make my numbers look that good. So they could do a $2,500 skin cancer, and then if they get cancer in situ, they get 25% of $2,500. And then if they get 3 skin cancers, they get $1,500. So one does not take away from the other, but those are the 2 other parts of that rider. Okay. We have a great video. I didn't put it in here. It's 2 minutes. I know a lot of agents utilize that to say, hey, I'm going to do your Med Advantage. However you guys talk about the out-of-pocket, like, you know, but with this Med Advantage, you know, it's a 0 premium, but you're going to have to be responsible for days 1 through 5, 1 through 6, I'm not sure what it is, for $300 or $500 a day. It can add up, don't worry. I'm going to take care of that. It's going to take 10 more minutes at the end of this, and we're going to get you covered at a very low cost, right? However you guys talk about it. So we have a video that a lot of times when they finish, they'll say, hey, watch, it's 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, but it's nice. Have the client see it and hear it. I like this slide. So if a client has an ambulance copay and 1 day in the hospital, so they get a trip and they get a day, they're gonna have to come out of pocket $550, right? That alone doesn't seem that big of a deal, right? They have to stay maybe 4 days, that might start getting to be a bigger deal. They have to take the ambulance to another spot, that might be a different, bigger deal. But my point is that if you run a quote for a 6-day benefit with $300 a day and a $250 ambulance rider, the annual premium, even for an 80-year-old, is less than that copay. Less than that trip and that day in paradise. So, it is and can be affordable. We talked about claims. If they choose to come home and file the claim, we have a great website. No one signs on. You just go to gtlic.com. You hit above the sign on, it says claim forms. It's gonna say, are you trying to go to the agent portal? No, you're an agent, so you X out of that. And then it separates it by product. It'll say hospital indemnity. And then it'll have all the forms and instructions and everything like that. Included in that is the HIPAA form. So yes, if the client gives their card to the hospital's gonna be the one that has to get us all our forms and get their money, right? If the client does not give it to the hospital and they fill out our forms, we do have a HIPAA form which we can then utilize with other facilities and say, no, we're calling on behalf. And we'll call every 3 days. You know, that client goes and they try to get that information, they try and they can't. They call the claims department and they're like, I cannot get this form. We will start calling for it. Guys, claims paying is important. Number one, it's great for referrals for you. Someone goes in and they're like, boom, hey, how are you doing? Oh my God, were those bills? No, my agent, I have this policy, boom, is sent. We have no desire to deny claims. I will tell you that if it's within the first 6 months, we are gonna take a little time making sure it wasn't a pre-X. We're gonna do our due diligence. Because with any policy in the insurance industry, you do have your 24-month contestability. All that's saying is if you lied, and if they did, and they get outside the 24 months, we can't do anything about it. So just know, we have no desire to not pay claims. But if it's in that early part, the 6 months, whatever, we are gonna do our due diligence as a corporation and a company. That's only fair. But we are running an average of 8 days once we get all those forms, that client has a check in hand. So we do realize the importance of being able to follow through with your clients. These are just clients that like us. I would have lost my farm, which had been in my family 3 years, if it wasn't for the cancer lump sum plan. I'm 80 years old with no one to help. They were able to call in, and our claims people walked them through, and they helped them with paperwork. So, We have good claims for it. I talked about the video. That QR code is where you can scan with your phone or your iPad and just turn it to them. Be like, watch this. We have the big brochures. We also have the little trifolds that you can just carry with you so you don't have to do a lot. If you don't like videos, we have the infographics. We also, along with the bonus, we are currently in the middle of a convention. It was released back in June 18th, and it's going to run till February 18th. We're going to London and Tuscany. So our marketing department's pretty fun, and they call it King Country. Questions about the hospital indemnity, the restorations,
Do
the
these-
guaranteed issue? Yes, please.
Do these like automatically renew annually for people?
Yes.
Okay, and then the premium goes up based
No.
on age?
I love that you asked that.
Yeah.
Our premiums stay the same at GTL,
Even if they've had claims?
even if
no
they've had
matter-
claims, no matter what.
Okay,
Yes, we have, I know other companies have it banded. Thanks for asking that. I need to add that. Our premiums don't increase. So if they're 65, that's what they're gonna pay forever. Now, I will say this, if they do the guaranteed option purchase, then they will pay that increased amount at the new age. So it will be added, like, it'll adjust their thing, their premium. So that is
makes
something
sense.
you need to know.
That
If they
makes
do the guaranteed, but they don't have to go through underwriting. Any other questions? Yes, it doesn't have to be checked, it's gonna cost you a Friday. No.
Okay, well, the question I had was the HIPAA form, does it have to be, is it a correctional HIPAA form? Like, if I do a policy, can I do it as a business, just taking the top up, or does it have to be within a certain time?
You know, I would have them do them when the claim is, because I'm sure most documents may be expired, it's not like it's getting notarized or anything like that. So, yeah, I would definitely just kinda help them at the time that they have the form, have them call in, do whatever, yes, sir.
So I have a question. So I have a good bit of GTL clients
Thank you.
that their MA plans are now going up in hospital coverage, and they're gonna be undercovered now.
Yes,
And I see where you guys have an upgrade feature. Can you talk about that?
yes.
Thank you.
What he is talking about,
I was wondering about that.
I'm gonna jump off this for one hot minute.
A lot of the hospital stays are about 100 and upwards 200 more than what we quoted for a GTL.
So, guys, I am on the GTL, not the app. So here's fill in the gaps. What he's asking about is right here. Hi, come on, baby. Is that too long? So, it really doesn't matter, does it? What he's asking about is if you have a client that already has a policy with us and it's an Advantage Plus, so you go in here and you hit Advantage Plus, and right here, it says, I should have gone up there, did the screen. It says, increased benefits. And then it says the minimum, so whatever. So you would just increase the benefit right there. You type in the policy number, and then you say, I want to increase the benefit amount $300. And then you move on. That's how you do it.
So can you add other riders as well during?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now,
And it's gonna change the premium.
yes, ma'am, it will change the premium.
And then you guys, there's nothing else we would have to do, you would just start subtracting the greater amount from their account. And
Right.
Keep going.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna get into really murky water with this,
Is
but
there any underwriting? What is that?
yes. So if they're outside the guaranteed issue, they will have to ask health questions, right? For that additional amount. And when I say we're gonna get into murky water,
2-year contestability goes back up.
we have now pieced apart, so they have two products. So they have one product that they're good, they're pre-exist, all this is out, and then they now have added a benefit here. So all that pre-ex and this all still applies. So if they go in and it's $900 and they have 6 here and 3 here, we will pay the 6 because it's already out of everything, but if they aren't out of this with the increase of benefits, that will not pay until the 6-month whatever. So keep in mind, it does get murky, but you absolutely can do it, but it's better than writing a brand new policy.
Well, and the way I look at it, the policy that you wrote already, at least they have some sort of.
Absolutely.
It's covering them about 90%.
Hopefully, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's,
they still keep their rate at that, when they've attained it, now they're just updating.
and then they'll
at
add
higher
on
age.
whatever the increase of premium would be.
So when you go through this application, it just gives you what the additional amount will
Yes,
be on
everything
top
is
of.
additional.
Okay.
Yep, so we are increasing benefits as additional.
Can I get murkier?
Oh, good night, of course.
That's what he does, like.
Yes.
He gets murky?
So, on the bonus, is that a new policy
Uh-huh.
for the bonus? For you increasing somebody else's policy we already had?
Okay.
Do you get credit for that is one new policy during the bonus time?
For GTL? No.
Don't you wanna give bonus money away to agents?
I do want to give bonus money away to agents,
But you just did.
but we're not doing it for increasing benefits. Okay.
It's a good try.
Do you want me to finish or do you want him to eat? They can grab food. Eat. Then eat. Go eat. Go eat.
Can you show that video that you always do that 2 minute
You
video?
want to see it?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, you guys go get your food. I will get the video, and then I just have precision care, and I'll leave you guys all alone.
This video should be in your guys' presentation books that I made. It's the QR code.
Hi, Scott.
I try to get bonus money.
You always like to throw a little wrench in here.
Well, somebody else is gonna be thinking it.
Yeah, they are. But you know, I do know that for your guys' ASB stuff, when they do stuff like that, you guys get credit on it.
So we get premium credit.
I think you do.
Yeah, we'll get premium here, 'cause they wouldn't know any better.
Yes.
They're not gonna give you fine.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna do an app data.
Because typically they would tell you no.
But you're gonna do an app data like a new policy anyway.
Just okay. Yeah.
So that's all gonna be fine. But how?
And then you guys just issued them out a new policy, I assume?
Yeah. It's 2 policies, but
Oh, it's 2 policies.
it'll be 2 policies.
So if you're adding to something that someone else wrote, how does all that work? Like, let's say he wrote the policy, he's not here anymore,
He does.
and I go in and I add in I do the additions.
Oh, is that a new
and-
policy for you?
Yes.
I don't know that you can. I think that you and your client need to reach out to GTL,
Mhm.
and the client needs to say, hey, look, I'm no longer working with this person,
Yep.
whatever, this is my new agent of record.
Mhm.
I need him to have access to increase it,
Yep.
or they will just say he's writing one in addition, but I'm not dropping my old one. Because it's very hard for us to take another agent's business and then give you access to increase it.
Right. That's sort of my question. Is like,
Yes.
let's say let's say he doesn't work with us.
Yes,
He's been long gone, but that policy's still active.
Sure.
I go in there and I help the client. Am I doing it for free, or are we getting paid, or
the client needs, it takes.
The other agent is.
the other agent?
Well,
That's
it
what I'm
sounds like
thinking. The
there's a
other
check
agent might be like,
process.
"Thank you."
Well, no, we catch all of that. Like, we'll be like, the original agent needs to do it, or, you know.
But, so they can do agent of record changes?
So a client can call in and be like, look, I am sideways, I'm upset, I'm doing whatever. I mean, it's rare that they do it, but they can come in and say, I want, it's a change of agent of record, and going forward, it's not gonna change what that other agent wrote. But they will always get their renewals and their everything else. But then you can go forward, and with that client saying that, you can then write them a new product, an additional benefit onto what they had. And then going forward, you are
And
the
you still,
agent.
and we have access to all of that.
You don't have access
To
to
the
the
beginning.
whole agent's information, because that's the one thing we can't tie together. I mean, we just can't.
But would that be part of the
When you do that,
bonus?
Wait,
Because it wasn't the.
Go find me that. Go find me that.
I just think when you did that,
Yeah.
when you do increase the benefit, they do ask the client if they want to include the agent record.
Okay, good. I didn't know.
FYI.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. You're
Yeah, they actually
welcome.
call them on the phone and ask them.
That's very interesting. I'm gonna get a piece too, if I would. I'll play the video. Everybody's back, right?
So, you just enrolled for Medicare Advantage health coverage. Great choice. Did you know there's additional coverage you can add to protect you from the out-of-pocket medical expenses you are still responsible for? Help fill any gaps in coverage and strengthen your financial protection with a hospital confinement indemnity insurance policy from Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company. Since 2005, GTL's industry-leading hospital indemnity insurance has been helping clients lower or completely eliminate their net out-of-pocket expenses stemming from Medicare Advantage copays and deductibles after a hospitalization event. Coverage is affordable and pays you directly based on your time in the hospital, regardless of any other healthcare coverage you have or where in the U.S. you receive care.
That's a good
Your
point.
potential out-of-pocket costs could be for a variety of services, including ambulance trips, outpatient therapy, critical accidents, and more. GTL's hospital indemnity insurance allows you to customize your coverage to help cover these and many others. Let's see a quick example of how it works. Meet Beth. She is 65 years old and her Medicare Advantage coverage leaves her responsible for a daily hospitalization copay of $300 per day for her first 6 days in the hospital. Knowing she would be responsible for her high copay, her agent helped her customize and apply for a GTL hospital indemnity insurance policy. Beth's new policy provided a restorable 6-day benefit period of $300 per day for less than $25 per month. A few months later, Beth suffered an illness that kept her in the hospital for 6 days. Her GTL hospital indemnity insurance kicked in after the first 6 hours of her stay. Beth received $1,800 directly from GTL for her hospitalization, which she used to completely cover her Medicare Advantage copay. Instead of worrying about how to pay her high copay, Beth could focus on her recovery without a financial setback. You shouldn't have to worry about covering out-of-pocket medical expenses. So now is a great time to think about GTL's hospital indemnity insurance.
Okay, that's the video. Pretty quick, pretty straightforward. Something that it said that I want to jump on is the fact that it doesn't matter where they get the help. So they buy it here, right? And they go visit their kiddos in California where it's actually not even approved to sell. It doesn't matter. They have it. It's continuous United States. And it covers for any hospital. There's no inpatient out, right? Because it's an indemnity plan contract between GTL and the client. And it goes anywhere they go, no matter where they go. They can change, they can keep this indemnity plan, and let's say they decide they're gonna go, no longer have a Medicare Advantage, but they're gonna go get a med sup, which I know that's not normally how it works, but let's just say they get something else. Doesn't matter, as long as they keep paying their premiums. We don't care what they have. We don't do a coordination of benefits, meaning we don't say, okay, send us the bill, and we'll pay that. Everything is set. They know exactly what they're gonna get for the time and the issue or the injury or all of that stuff. Were you walking up to make a point?
Yeah, so I was gonna say something, a lot of the other offices, what they're doing is you go out and you enroll somebody in a Medicare Advantage plan, while you're actually physically enrolling them, they have their client scan this QR code and watch this video. That way they're not just staring there watching you do anything. You fill out the app, they watch this and they're done. Hey, that's great, can I get some pricing on that? Sure, Mr. Jones, let's go. And a lot of people are having success with that.
So the other thing I wanted to show you is, and then oh wait, I still have to talk about it. Okay, so I just do want to show you. See, fill in the gaps, it's so easy. So what's your zip code here?
29420.
1?
29420.
Who do you guys sell a lot of? Oh, I know, United. I saw the sign out front, right? Look, I get so excited. I know. No, I don't know this one. What plan? Whew.
Not a duel.
Does that one work?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna be hard for you guys to see, I get it, but let me show you what it did. This says 325 per days for days 1 through 5. So over here, hospital confinement is 330 days for 5 days. That's gonna be the bare minimum. We move by $10 increments. It says for an ambulance, it's $275 out in network, out of network. So we're gonna go ahead and just do a $300 rider. I think it moves by 50. Outpatient rehab, they have to pay 20 bucks for physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. Well, we're gonna give them 50. They can choose between 15 and 30 days. We don't coordinate, right? So they're gonna come out 20 bucks a head, or 30. Like I said, I'm not a strong mouther. $30 a head. And then down here, for days 1 through 20, they are going to be responsible for $203 per day.
That's 21 through 100.
Oh, no, okay, sorry, $0 for one, so it's 21 through 100. So if they wanted to put that coverage in there, then they would wanna come over here and do the second half for the, $210. So then if we like all this, we're like, oh yeah, oh, and even add the wellness, but I tell you, and this shows you how old I am, because I'm like, it's the Cadillacs, I gotta like start thinking of a new phrase. So it is gonna have to, like, you're gonna have to put in the client information, right? Like, that's just part of it.
If you just fill in the gaps,
I,
like I've done one where the hospital stay, you said it goes in increments of 10.
mhm.
You showed 310 coverage, but it was gonna be costing a little bit more. Once you're in the app, can you alter that and go up more
Yep.
to make sure it's covered?
Yep, so I'm in it right now. So I need to let them know how old they are and everything else. So don't touch anything, because it's gonna start thinking. It takes a minute.
It's gonna take a couple extra minutes with our.
Okay, did you hear that? It's your internet, mine. Come on. Come on. There you go. There it goes. Okay, now give it some time. It's gonna go boom. 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 Just adding into that premium. 58, 65. Oh, we're not done. 67, 74, 95, 102.
We're almost going to convention.
Okay, that's where we stopped. So, guys, this is where we are. 5 days for $330. If you wanted to up that, you can. Okay, you can up it to $400. Okay, it's gonna change the cost. So give it a second. It's gonna do its little thing, and it's gonna say, okay, that to move it from what it was to $400 is what was it? That's $5 more a month. So the guaranteed purchase option, that's this. Do we want it? It tells you right here it's $7.52. The ambulance service rider, absolutely we want that, because it's gonna cost this person $1.95 for $300 out of pocket. So, do we want the outpatient surgery? It's gonna cost $6.35. Maybe we don't, the skilled nursing. Now, this is the one problem I found with this. It defaults to $120. You're gonna have to change that to whatever it's correct. It defaults. I don't know why they can't fix it. I complain about it all the time. So, lump sum cancer rider, we did, that's 17. Now let's see where we can start saving some money. So, outpatient surgical, they have it at 1,000. We're gonna put 0. It's gonna drop the cost down. They can't afford that extra bump on day 1. So that's gonna drop the price. We didn't do the critical accident. So now we're at $68.56. We can drop it more. We can take off the cancer rider if we want. We can take off the skilled nursing facility. But my point is that you can work this through to whatever it is. Now, here's the other thing. So we got this down just from playing around like this. Right up here in the blue, it says Advantage Plus Elite, $50.70 a month. If you wanted to add something else, okay, there are more products. You can do short-term, you can do precision care. This combined total premium at the bottom, that's gonna be all the products that you're writing them at that time. The individual premiums are in the blue by the name of the product. Gotcha? Okay. Let me just finish this little presentation. I'm sorry?
You can sell more than one product in that app right there, that's what
Yep.
you said.
Yes.
At the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, so I can go in and like do drop down on short-term home health care to cover them when they get back from the hospital. I can do my precision care, cover them there, and just start playing around, and then it'll show the combined total premium right here. Okay, last thing I'd like to talk about, you guys are all good with it, is the cancer product. I love this product. You have a client that is worried about cancer. Where did I put my clicker? Oh, it's up there. I think this is a fabulous product. And the reason why I think it's a fabulous product, because I think it's so much more than just, hey, you have cancer, here's your money, good luck, be on your way. So what our cancer product does is we teamed up with a national cancer research facility called TGen. They're based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay? They do genome sequencing and testing, they do research, they gather research from all across the United States, people send them information, all of that stuff. So you get them, or your clients get them, and they get their money. So it's more than just, I'm sorry you have cancer, here's your money. It is, I'm sorry you have cancer, here's your money, now let's see if we can get you healed and get you in remission and get you to survive your cancer. So, what is genome sequencing? Cancer. We could have the same, you and I could have the same cancers, but our fingerprint is going to be so different, possibly, that our treatments could be different. Everybody's cancer is unique. So what TGen does is they go in and they do genome sequencing, they look at the underlying biology of the specific cancer, they look at molecular targets, they get the research out, they do all the tests and say, okay, for these molecular targets, you know, we got a good deal over here, but for people that didn't have these molecular targets, this medication didn't work. Okay? So it really digs in and goes in and looks at it. So everybody does genome sequencing. You know, you have your, what is it, MD Anderson in Houston, stuff like that, and you have your places, everybody looks about, because there's about 400 to 500 markers of cancer that are that people look at. What TGen does is they go in and they look at 19,000 genes. They're nonprofit, and what the best is they provide that second opinion. So I know if I get diagnosed with cancer, I'm going to go to my St. Luke's or my KU Med or whatever. They're going to tell me I have cancer and they're going to do this, and I am getting a second opinion. You can bet your ass I'm getting a second opinion, right? Because I want a second opinion. TGen is a second opinion. So what happens is that the policyholder is diagnosed with cancer, an invasive cancer. They file a claim right on the front of the thing, and I can show you that later. And included in the claim forms are TGen information too. So they fill it all out at once. Boom. Once they fill it out, we send them a check, right? Then we contact TGen and say, hey, we have a client. Here's their information. TGen contacts the oncologist and the client and says, hey, you have us. We are your second opinion. You know when you took that biopsy from the client and you tested it there, St. Luke's? Go ahead and cut off a sliver and send it to us because we need to test it also. We pay for that. They send off the biopsy. They do all the 19,000 genes and genome sequencing and all that stuff. And then they look at it and they say, okay, from everything we have, this is what we would recommend. And then they reach back out and do a one-on-one consultation with the client and their oncologist and say, this is our findings. And before anybody asks, there's not been one oncologist that is pissed off that TGen got into the game.
That wasn't the question.
We've asked TGen. So, what's included? So they can do, minimum amount is $2,500 face amount or a $20 premium. So depending on their age, they may have to go higher than $2,500. So those max is $50,000. They get genome sequencing by TGen, they get the second opinion by TGen. If they are recommended for experimental treatment, we will pay 25% of the lump sum that they can utilize for experimental treatment because I don't think anybody anywhere covers experimental treatment. Okay, there's 25% cancer in situ. What does that mean? The client goes in, we want cancer in situ all day long. I have precancerous, I have stage 0, I've been diagnosed with this. Here's 25% of that lump sum one time. There's a couple benefits that we can add on. So let's look at the basics. Issue ages 18 to 90, 2,500 up to 50,000. There is a child rider that's 25 to 10,000. This is a little bit more invasive with underwriting, guys. So you're gonna have some male, female weight classes, weights, different stuff like that. With a child rider, they have to have a baby at the time, or kiddo at the time. Now, if they keep on procreating, they can keep on adding kids to the file. That's fine, the writer. But they have to have a child at the time of application. So, $1.25 for 10,000, 0 to 18, they're covered all the way till they're 25. Once they're 25, the coverage ends. No, there's not another one they can get for guaranteed renewability. They would need to apply on their own 2 feet for the precision care if they want another policy. Now let's talk about the cancer benefit builder rider. So I don't know why we wouldn't add this. What it does is it increases everything. It increases that initial lump sum. Excuse me. Sorry. It increases the initial lump sum that they chose by 25% in cases of invasive late-stage diagnosis. It boosts the cancer in situ, which is part of the base product, up to 50% from 25%. It adds a skincare benefit, $500 per year, up to 3 times. And then this one is where we got the wellness benefit that we added on to the Elite because it does so well. They go to the doctor, not the oncologist, not the cancer doctor. They go to the doctor to do a wellness exam, and we pay them $100 to get all those bumps, increases, right? So if you look at a 65-year-old female, it'd be $9.75, $117 more a year. But if they go to the wellness, get a physical exam, you send them $100, what actually makes it $17 a year, or $1.41 a month to increase all of that stuff. So that's just a conversation you have to have with your client. Could be worth it if you go there. We want them to go to the doctor. We want them to get their annual wellness. People are more healthy when they do it. So, underwriting, it is a simplified issue. There is a 5-year look back on previous cancers. It's yes, no questions. Male, female, height, weight. There is a medication list you want to download. As far as the requirements, 2,500 to 15,000, there's really none. We go by the questions, and that's it. 15,000, up to 25,000, we run an RX check, Milliman RX, right? And then 25,000 to $1, up to 50,000, we do the RX, we do the personal history interview, we do the medical data. Guys, keep in mind this is guidelines. If someone is doing a $20,000 face amount and we run an RX check and we see something that we just don't understand, we will reach out and go ahead and get additional stuff so we can get it issued. So, reserve the right to get more info. Health questions, this is it. There's 5-year look back, past 5 years, HIV, AIDS, COPD, chronic emphysema, action therapy, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's, lymphoma, melanoma, any internal cancer, pre-leukemic, pre-malignant condition, PSA reading greater than 4.0 or abnormal mammogram test results, which is cancer has not been ruled out. And then the last one is your all-encompassing in the last 24 months. Has anybody, to be insured, has any abnormal diagnostic test results, awaiting test results, or been advised to have any diagnostic tests or medical condition symptom? Essentially all that's saying is that if you got a scare and you're running out to get a policy, that's going to catch it. Now, I do want to talk about it because I have a great example. So 2 years ago, I went to the doctor, right? My cholesterol went up. My doctor's like, cholesterol went up. I said, I don't have high cholesterol. I don't care what you say. I'm not getting on medication. I'm too damn young. And I'm not. But young. But I'm still not getting on medication. So she had me go do a scan. Like, and you do your scans, and it's anywhere from 0 to like 100% clogged, right? And I did that, and I was 0. That's not the point of my story. My point of the story is that in that scan, they found a node, a nodule, okay? And it was my lungs. Ooh. And they're like, we want you to come back in a year. And I, of course, was like, oh my God, I have cancer. I have lung cancer, right? Immediately. I was just like, oh, but I can't go apply for this, right? Because I know. So, back in April, I waited my year, went back and had my scan, and my doctor called me with results. They're like, you're good. We're not going to do another one. People actually have nodules in their lungs, but we always like to look at it. You're not going to, like, we're done. It didn't grow, nothing. You have a normal, we're good, you move on. So I called my claims guy. I said, Jeff, can I apply for this? This is what it is. And he said, yes. He said, until you have that last test that said you're good, now you don't have an abnormal. So it was in the last year, 2 years, but my normal one kicked that one out, and I'm okay. So when I get off my butt, I'm gonna get one of these. But that's my story, and I think it's important that you understand, like if someone said, I had a test, they said I had to wait, I went back, I'm good, I'm golden, I got a gold star, there's nothing wrong with me, then that's a no answer to that question. And I'm okay too. Okay, we talked about this, 20, we can do 26 applications, can't we? Maybe?
Just hoping.
Yeah. Do one with every MA you write.
Yeah.
Just go 1, 2, 1, 2. I can't leave without writing. Anyway, thanks for your time. Let me know if you have questions.
And so, just to be clear about this, the initial commission would pay out like kind of immediately as it
Yes.
were, and then the bonus comes through in January.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is a great way, just take the bonus out and take how you're really protecting your clients and all the good you're doing for them. This is a great way to keep money coming through ADP because I don't think they pay you guys until the 1st,
No,
right?
no.
So this is a great way to keep income during the next 3 months and then get a big old bonus to pay off your Christmas crap you bought.
So if they have the precision care and the hospital indemnity plan with you guys, and they have the wellness on each one, can they claim it on each policy?
Yes. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, it's the doctor visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the same doctor visit can be used on both.
Absolutely, it's a wellness, absolutely. Yep, I went to the doctor. Here's this one, here's this one.
Just to
Yep.
be clear, that T-Gen is a whole separate cancer policy, that's not an additional benefit, I mean, that's a separate policy altogether.
So, he asked this, okay, so the first product I went over is the hospital indemnity, Advantage
With the
Facility.
cancer, right.
It has a cancer rider.
Right.
When we finish that product's finished.
Yep.
This product is precision care, which gives your clients a lump sum and access to T-Gen. That's the product.
It's not like T-Gen's not right.
No, that's the product.
He's saying you don't get T-Gen with the cancer rider in the first.
No. You don't get T-Gen with the cancer rider. We looked at it. So expensive. So we're just gonna keep it with the cancer product.
But you cannot write the cancer rider and add the cancer product as your second product.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just don't write the cancer rider if you want T-Gen.
Do you need somebody to write your cancer policy?
That is a great question. Are you licensed in Missouri?
Oh, no.
Okay. So, this is the other thing I want to say. If you have written previous cancer products, and if you have come across a client that has a previous cancer product, don't ever replace that. Yes, ours is superior and better, and they give you access to T-Gen and stuff like that. But my takeaway to you is, number one, they're probably out of their contestability. They'll probably have a lower premium, okay? If they can afford $20 or more a month, they get this product for the minimum face. So they already have a face amount that's gonna help them out. And if you are wanting them to have T-Gen, T-Gen is not gonna only look at $12,000 do 12,000 genome sequencing because they only have a $12,000 face or $2,500 face. They get full access to TGen. Don't ever replace cancer. Don't mess around with people's cancer stuff. 24 contestability. Don't want to do that. Premiums are lower. You can do the minimum amount, which needs to be a minimum premium of $20, and you have all of TGen. You have your 2,500 and your 25% and all your other stuff, but I'm just saying, please don't ever. TGen is there for, it's not based on the face amount. There? I'm good. I'm done. I hope you guys.
Thank you.
Nope, wait, I got one more.
So if somebody already has a GTL,
Yep.
66 years old,
Yep.
just got diagnosed with skin cancer,
Yep, yep,
had it fixed,
yep.
and what, now have a cancer virus with all of it.
Nope. 5 years. 5-year look back. Well, no, you're right. I bet you it says in the past 5
You
years.
got a patch on it and it has.
I bet you, we have to look at, well, hang
But now
on.
he wants to add cancer. No, I mean, wants to add the rider.
I know, but I think they're close. Maybe not, let me see what the thing is. I thank you for pointing that out. I think it says, have you had in the last 5 years, blah, blah, blah. What's the really bad one?
But skin cancer is not all
Hey,
that.
time out.
Basal stuff.
Time out. The cancer rider is not including guaranteed issue. On the hospital indemnity plan, every rider is, it says every rider except for cancer, they have to get the cancer rider on their own 2 feet. So they're guaranteed issue for the base product and any of the other riders they wanna purchase. The cancer rider is not a guaranteed issue. But with that being said, I do believe that they have a health question that says, in the past 5 years, have you had blah, blah, blah. What's the really bad skin cancer? Melanoma. So they'll say something, melanoma, excluding basal and start, and then if they exclude it, then you can get it. Yeah. If that says it out, and I'm gonna look it up. Alright, now I'm done. Thanks, guys and gals.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We're gonna take a quick